Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I am here to give you my meditation tips on how to improve the connection you get in your meditation. So how do you get that deeper connection? I've had some people ask me to do this video, and so because it came up in my energy reading for January, that meditation was the tool, the path of action to get to the outcome this month, that I really wanted to make sure that I got this video out as soon as possible for all of you. So I'm going to give you my personal tips on how to make that deeper connection. And some of them aren't really talked about if you go to look up like tips on meditation, you're going to kind of see the same stuff over and over again. And I want to give you guys some stuff that kind of goes a little bit deeper beyond that, and stuff that's not always talked about. And my first tip that I actually think is the most important one is stop judging yourself. Stop judging your experience. It is the number one block to you creating that connection. When we judge ourselves, we are shutting down inside. Energetically, we're shutting everything down. It's a contraction of energy. And so if you really want to deepen that connection, you have to open up your energy centers. And when we judge, when our mind starts judging things, we're shutting everything down. Also, you're not allowing the experience to flow. So you're stopping everything. And that's just so important, is to still have that flow. Now, how we judge ourselves in our meditation is, I'm not doing this right. I don't know how to meditate. I've never meditated before. Do I even know what I'm doing? My visions, is this just in my mind, or am I making this up, or is this really happening? There's so many ways that we judge ourselves. And this is the first thing that I address with people when I work with them in helping them in their meditation process. And I'm telling you, I have people who've never meditated in their life. And when I work with them on the first experience, they're having incredible visions. And I'm telling you, I'm humbled every time with how incredible the capacity that people have within. Like, this is a power that we all have, and we sometimes forget how powerful we really are. And when my clients start to drop the judgment, they're allowing themselves to just experience. They become the observer. You become the witness. You're no longer the judger. And this is so key when you're meditating, is to not allow those negative thoughts and the thoughts that shut everything down to come through. So refrain from judgment. Always remember, if you have those judgmental thoughts come in, remember to just say, be the witness. Just be the witness and allow the experience to be what it's going to be. And when you do that, you allow so much more to come in, because you don't have any attachment to what the experience is supposed to be. You don't have an attachment to the outcome. And that's very important. Now, if you're working with visions and you're someone who really wants to increase the connection by having deeper visions, stronger visions, don't shut it down by saying, this is all in my head, I'm making it up. Because that may be part of it, but that's okay. You're allowed to have an imagination. You're allowed to make believe. Allow that process to open up and start to reconnect with what the imagination was when we were children. Because when we were children, that is when our connection was at a height, when we were super heightened and our awareness and senses were at their highest. And so we're actually trying to reconnect to that feeling, to that time where we weren't shutting down. And so, you know what? If it is in your mind, so what? Allow yourself to have that moment and start creating things. And all of a sudden, you're going to notice that thoughts just come into your mind. Visions just start to come in your mind. And then you just follow them. You follow them and you let them play out like a movie. And you just watch and you just let it play out. And, maybe it'll only be for a couple minutes. Maybe it'll be for an hour or two, or whatever it is, it is. And just be thankful and in gratitude for what your experience is, and don't compare it to others. Okay, so big one. That's like a major one, is don't judge yourself. Now, my second tip is work with your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is your third eye, is the seat of the soul. It is your gateway to the spiritual connection that you are trying to create or deepen. And so, first of all, you need to decalcify the pineal gland. And to decalcify the pineal gland, we've got to remove fluoride from all consumption of fluoride. So whether it's in your drinking water, your toothpaste, or in your food products. And believe it or not, it is in a lot of food products, a lot of processed food, and it's in forms that aren't really talked about. So if you were to look at the ingredients, you wouldn't realize that it's fluoride. So use filters on your water if you're not. Drink filtered water, and also cut out the toothpaste. This will help you start to decalcify your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is like a little tiny grain of rice that's about the size of it, and it sits in the direct center of your brain, right at the middle of the left and right hemisphere. So it's known as our God space, and it's where all the balance comes in. It's where the divine feminine and divine masculine merge. And so very important to really work in decalcifying the pineal gland. But you can also supplement your pineal gland, and that's what I do. I supplement my pineal gland so that I can enhance its function. I really want my pineal gland working at its most optimal because I'm aware now of how much of a difference it makes. So I'm going to give you guys some things that I use to enhance my pineal gland function. And the first one that I started using was homeopathic HGH. This is not the steroid, okay? It is not the steroid. It is a homeopathic version. It works with your pineal, or sorry, not your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, to produce its own HGH that is optimal for your body. Now, as we hit about 18 to 20 is when we start decreasing the amounts of HGH that are produced from our pituitary gland. And it gets less and less and less. And HGH is known as our youth hormone. It's how our bodies heal and recover faster. It helps in reducing inflammation. And so it is also, the reason why I'm saying it is because the pineal gland and the pituitary gland work hand in hand with one another. The hormones, the pineal gland is also responsible for the pituitary gland, and likewise for releasing all the hormones in our body. And so taking care of your pituitary gland will enhance your pineal gland. Now, once I started taking this HGH, my visions really increased. On top of all the other amazing benefits. Now, I've written an entire blog on this product, and so I'm going to link it in the description below so you guys can read about it more if you're interested. I can't put it all into this video because it'll be way too long. So homeopathic HGH is the first one. The second one that I started doing was making sure that I was taking dark greens powder. If you can also eat a lot of dark leafy greens in your diet will also help, but I also like to make sure that I'm getting like a good amount of it. So I started taking a dark leafy green supplement, and that has also really helped as well. So that helps to supplement and decalcify your pineal gland. So you're kind of getting two birds with one stone there. Now, the third thing that I started doing was I started taking turmeric. Turmeric is a great detoxifier and activator for your pineal gland as well. So it enhances its function. And turmeric is also great for so many other things like in the body, like inflammation and all that. So I use organic, basically a tincture drop. So I don't use the powdered form because the tincture is more potent. However, you don't have to. You can use the powder as well. Use it in your cooking. Use the, whatever you want to do. There's the turmeric lattes and all that. There's so many ways you can get it in. So turmeric is another good one. Now, another one that I'm not using, but my co-host on my podcast, he started using, and he noticed that it really took his visions, not so much in his meditations, but in his dreams to a whole nother level. And that's skate liver oil. And that's supposed to be really good for your pineal gland as well. So skate liver oil is something that you can add to your supplementation for your pineal gland. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to suggest is hydrate yourself. The reason why you need to hydrate is because water is an extremely good conductor for energy. And because we're all made up of energy and we have our energy centers, our meridians, you really want to make sure that you are hydrated. Now, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like the daily recommendation of 8 glasses a day is extremely low. Extremely low. You guys need to be drinking more, in my opinion. So if you are working out or you live in a drier climate, you even need to make drinking more water to make sure that you're getting that amount of water in for your body to stay really hydrated. So I recommend a minimum of 3.5 liters, which is 14 plus glasses a day. And some people really freak out when I say that. And they're like, that's so much water. I'll be going to the bathroom all the time. Good. You should be. You want to start eliminating all the crap in your body. You do not want to be just going to the bathroom maybe 3 times a day. You really need to be going much more often. And, you know, and obviously once you start to drink more water, your body starts to balance out, and it starts to handle it better. Now, when we open up our chakra systems and our meridians and the energy starts flowing better, the hydration just helps to conduct all the energy better. So conducting the energy up through our crown chakra so that we make that connection to our higher self, your spirit guides. If you want to be doing increasing like telepathy and all of that, you really want to make sure that you're hydrated. So that is very important in understanding how water works with energy. Now, the next tip I'm going to give you is yoga. Movement of the body is very key. Now, yoga has a ton of benefits. And actually, if you all haven't read this one, at Jen Reviews, she's written a great article on 18 tips, benefits to yoga from a scientific perspective. And I'm going to leave a link for that in the description below, but go check out jenreviews.com. /yoga, because if you want to learn more of the scientific reasons of why yoga is so beneficial to your body and your health, then this is a great article to read. But why I'm suggesting it for the deeper connection to meditation is that our body is made up of energy, and energy can get stuck in our tissues. It gets stuck, like our emotions get stuck in our tissues. And when we start moving the body and start bending it and stretching it and working it in lots of different ways and manipulating our body that way, we're starting to move energy through our body. And when you start to move energy throughout your body, you're allowing that flow to start coming in seamlessly. And that's what we want when we want to make that deeper connection to our higher self through meditation. I noticed just this week, I've been doing a lot of yoga because I'm trying to release energy out of my left shoulder, and it's almost all the way out. It's stuck in my forearm right now, but it's almost left. But I noticed that I did about 2 hours of yoga the other night. And when I went to bed and I closed my eyes, my goodness, the light show that was going on in my third eye was intense. There was so much energy moving around that I was aware of through my third eye, much more so than I had not doing so much yoga previously. So moving your body, if you're not someone who's into yoga, that's okay. Just do stretching, do something that's going to like start working with your spine, moving it around, because you know this is a huge vortex energy center through here. And that's like a really great way to also deepen your connection. Okay, so my last tip is don't worry about stilling your mind. You hear this all the time. Just still your mind, block everything out. No. I've also written another blog on this, which I will link below for any of you who are interested in this. But I don't believe that we need to still our mind when we're meditating. I don't think it's actually, this is the thing. I actually think it's working against the current energies that are coming into the planet right now, because the energies are so strong and so intense that things are moving a lot faster. And think about it this way, energy wants to move. Energy likes to move. Energy wants to expand. It doesn't want to be contracted. So when we try and still our mind, it's like we're trying to stop things, and energy just needs to flow in. You need to let things flow through your mind as they're meant to come through. If you really want to have that experience, we really want to allow the energy to come through. And so I really challenge this idea of stilling the mind. And I know not everyone agrees with me, and that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but this is what I feel in my own experience is blocking people right now. You want to quiet the mind, but you don't want to still the mind. Our imagination is so important, and you can't allow the imagination to expand and show you all these visions if you're trying to still everything. So it just seems so counterintuitive, but it's also counterproductive, I think, in the meditation process. So don't worry about stilling your mind. If those thoughts come in, if that grocery list comes in, like let it come in and then let it go out and let the next thing come in. Don't try and still it. Allow it, because that's when we're fighting. And again, it's that whole resistance persistence thing. You know, everything we resist will persist. And so we don't want to do that. We just want to be allowing, we want to move with the energy. We want to be in the flow. So if you're going to be in the flow, okay, we need to kind of move away from that idea of stillness. Peace, yes. Stillness in a sense of peace, but not stillness in a sense of movement within the mind, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So that is my other tip is, and I know that it relieves a lot of people when I tell them that, because they're like, oh my God, so I don't have to like still my mind. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. Some people do. Some people, it works really well for them. And you know what? All the power to you if that's what works for you. I personally get way more out of my meditation experience when I allow my mind to work with energy in the way that it's intended to be, and that is movement. So just keep that in mind. So those are my tips for creating that deeper connection to your meditation. So let me know if you guys have any tips. Leave them in the comments below, because it may help someone who's watching this video if they see your tip as well. And you never know, I may want to try your tip. So I love hearing new things and trying new ways of doing things. So I would love to hear your tips for meditation down in the comments below. Now, I also want to let you guys know that my next video is going to be a part 2 to the negative entity one that I've just recently released. And I am like floored by the comments that I'm getting, the private messages from all of you for doing that video. And I didn't realize how important this topic is, and how much many of you are seeking this information out. So I want to get that out to you guys. Also, Saturday, January 13th, I am doing a webinar on protection with Dr. Jessica Sanchez, a good friend of mine, who is like what I call the protection queen. She's the protection queen. She's taught me everything I know. So if you guys are interested in learning more, I'm going to leave a link for that as well. And you guys can get more information on that webinar for January 13th. It's a Saturday. So thanks for coming by the channel. I hope that this video helps you out in connecting to your meditation on a deeper level. I know that we're all trying to create that deeper connection, expand consciousness, really move into the heart space, and allow the service to others to come through. So let me know how it works. I'd be curious to know. All right, guys, have a great week. I will be back soon with a negative entity video. And I love you all. Have a great day.